guys? This is the Premier New Home Hoth Retro Tourney Gemp League recap. We're here. We're recapping the exciting events. You know who won. Andy Talaga, big winner. He won the whole thing. 6-0. Also Sebastian G. I forgot the last name. Sorry. Also went 6-0. Great players. Amazing players. Let's go over what we saw in these games. So, bad news, guys. I sold all my Star Wars cards. No, just kidding. I'm moving, so I moved them into a secure location in a vault, hidden under the. I'm gonna be buried with them like King Tut or something, and they'll dig me up 1,000 years from now, and they won't know what they are. But that'll be weird. Anyway, I have bad news for you guys. Really bad Star Wars CCG news for you. You know the tournament you thought you were playing that you just finished, Premier through Hoth? You thought you were playing Star Wars cards, but you were just playing an elaborate game of rock, paper, scissors. Sorry, I hate to break the news to you. You were just playing rock, paper, scissors. What were you doing? Sense, alter, sense, alter, sense, alter. Oh, whoever has the most sense and alter wins. It should be just playing like Go Fish. How many sense alters you have? Oh, I drew 8. I win the game. Anyway, it's just, they counter everything. And the best part about them is they're only playable if you have a really high ability character in the game. Good thing the mains are high ability. So, it's just such a silly card. It counters every strategy, and it's a used interrupt. And you're going to say, why not tentacle or grappling hook them? And then it makes them unique. Okay. It's still only one-time use, and you typically play grappling hook when you're going to alter their sense, and then they won't have another sense to counter it. So it's only works in tandem, and then you're going to say, why don't you play They'll Be Held to Pay, or what are you trying to push on us? That doesn't counter it. You have to pay, and it costs 3 force. So especially at these games, you're so force-starved. Saving 3 force is huge, and plus, then you have to play a card, still gets countered, and then it grabs their sense, so it's 1 for 1 card, plus you lose 3 force. And then the next time, they have to pay 2 force, and they still counter your strategy. So their sense and alters counter all strategies, and They'll Be Held to Pay just grabs it, and plus they're still counting your strategy. Sense, alter, rock, paper, scissors. Also, Monarch, Grim Tash. If you draw one on the first turn, have to start with a Death Star. Do you play it? Do you not play it? If you play it, and they have 2 Lukes in their hand, because you know they're running 3 Lukes and 3 Obi-Wans, like everybody, 4 Obi-Wans, 4 Vaders. You play it first turn. If you get lucky, you win. If you don't, you don't. Another thing, rock, paper, scissors. Did you draw good locations? There's no mulligan, so you better hope you drew good locations. It's rock, paper, scissors, fellas. I'm sorry to say. Don't. Kind of sick of the format. It's kind of silly. Anyway, another card that was getting so old. Lightsabers. Why are they the only weapon that's good? They are draw 2 destiny. The target's hit is 0, forfeit. Plus, they add to a force drain. And what do the other weapons do? They can barely hit anything, and they don't add anything. Maybe they should add forfeit. Maybe they should add immunity to attrition. Maybe they should be higher destiny. I don't know. I don't like the way the weapons are made, but obviously it's addressed in later sets with the whole... Sorry, there's a lawnmower outside. Jeez. With the whole virtual sets, the weapons are kind of addressed. But in this format with these 3 sets, man, you're really limited. So, I thought we were going to see a lot more certain Hoth cards in my last video I said we'd see. The one we really saw was Baka Tank. Great card. Pair that with Mintillion Savrip, and if they're not running alters, which, why wouldn't you run alters? If they have those 2 out and you can't counter them, then they could literally fight you with 50 power. They could have 3 Star Destroyers with 10 pilots on them, and you could have the Red 6 with Jet Porkins with lateral damage on it, and it would be power 0 versus power 50, and you would just... Okay, draw Destiny, they lose a character from their ship because Star Destroyers aren't immune to attrition, and then they can just lose Obi-Wan from their hand and put Jet Porkins in the Baka Tank, and next thing you know, they're back there next turn, and you're repeating, and it's a battle you can't win. Very frustrating, but good thing everybody was running Sense and Alters. Another card we saw was Ice Storm. Actually, this might be my favorite card in the whole damn tournament. Immune to Alter. I guess it's not immune to Control, but that's for next... if you play the next set. But it was great because it kind of forced you to play speeders or walkers. Another thing a rule I didn't realize is when you deploy a speeder, you have to deploy a speeder without a pilot, and if they have a walker there, if you deploy rogue 1, 2, or 3, they have maneuver 0. So they can trample them before they put a pilot in it. It's not like a starship where they're deployed at the same time with that. It's different, so they can trample it like it's maneuver zero and it just blows it up. So it's kind of a quirky thing. Maybe it should be addressed in the rules, but I don't even know. It doesn't even matter because trample's countered by sense, of course. So you don't even have to worry about that. Another cards that were really annoying, just like last time: Rebel Barrier, Imperial Barrier, these manipulation cards where it's like, we're not going to fight. We're not going to fight. And it's so obvious when they have one force, but it's so annoying. Pretty much have to have Sense and Alter. Scanning Crew, annoying-ish. I don't really like the theme of the card. Not as OP. Maybe it should be Lost. If it was Lost in Destiny 6 or something, maybe that would be balanced. Circle is now complete. It basically says Obi-Wan can't go anywhere without a lightsaber, without a Tatooine utility belt, and you can't leave Tatooine, or you better have it disarmed in your hand and hit them before that so they can... It makes... There's no random element to it. It's just like Vader and Obi-Wan, same site. Oh, your Obi-Wan's out of play. Sorry, game over, because now you lost one of your mains that had to force train, and pretty much the theme of most decks with Destiny adders. Anyway, what Andy Talaga did in his decks, I took a look at his deck list. They're pretty typical decks, but I mean, everybody was running pretty typical decks. He did a few cool things. He had a lot of locations in his Darkside deck, and he ran Image of the Dark Lord. Very cool card. Destiny 6, if they're running some hologram Dejeric board trying to drain you for one, you slap that. He was running two of them. You can slap him down, just destroy him on the hologram board. Or if they draw a whole bunch of these Echo Sites that a lot of people were running, or all these 2 for you, none for them locations, you just slap that guy down, you just slap the effect down, and then they're not generating as much force. It's got a couple of uses, plus Destiny 6. He ran a lot of, what's it called? How do we get into this mess? He ran a lot of those. He saw some players, I would say about 30 or 40% of people were running these in their light side. Sure, you have to have a droid at a scomp link, but that's not too hard. You could start out with a different starting location, and getting to redraw your hand is humongous. It is so good, especially when there's no mulligan and you're looking for locations. Really, really great card. He also sent me a deck he was thinking of running. It was a Spaceport Speeder deck. He was running 20 Spaceport Speeders and 20 Luke's X-32 land speeders. Now that would have been a deck. I wish you would have ran that, Andy. And what is the deal with Luke? He has a Skyhopper, he's got a land speeder, and you know, Owen just really spoiled him and spoil the rod, spoil the child, spare the rod, spoil the child. That's my belief. That's what I believe, and I don't think Owen practiced this. He seemed harsh, but he bought Owen a bunch of shit all the time. And look at how whiny he bought Luke a bunch of shit all the time. And look at how whiny Luke turned out to be. He's always complaining, you know. I don't want to do this, don't want to do this. He didn't want to go learn the Force. He was over at Ben's house hanging out. Oh, I don't want to go have fun and go meet with, you know, intergalactic stuff. He wanted to stay at the moisture farm and farm moisture. And then once he got home, and then he saw his dad or stepdad was dead or whatever, then he decides he wants to... I mean, talk about fickle, but we gotta love Luke. He has a great lightsaber. He has a great... He's the man. You gotta love him. Anyway, let's get into Death Star 2 format. The next tournament coming up is Premier through Death Star 2. So we're not going in order. I think it'd be nice to go through every set. But now, I'm reflecting from 6 games from Hoth, 6 games from just adding Dagobah really wouldn't add a lot except for more manipulation. 6 games with Cloud City wouldn't add a lot. You get your shocking revelations and Boba Fett and a few other mediocre cards. But still, it doesn't add that much until you get to Jabba's Palace, because that's where it adds cool things like Audience Chamber, and you can actually get away from the main strategy or the manipulation strategy or the Asteroid Sanctuary strategy or the numbers strategy. Just think about this. There was like a whole year where the only, like in 96 or whatever, where the only strategies were deploying droids and abusing their destiny numbers, or characters like Wedge and just sitting passively and using inserts like Anger, Fear, Aggression, or manipulation decks where you use like Defensive Fire and look through their used pile, and then they had Asteroid Sanctuary. So basically, every deck that was encouraged was so anti-fun. And the only one you could actually maybe fight with is a mains deck. Anyway, I digress. I got to do it. Let's talk about the Death Star 2 format. You know, I'm looking forward to it, but what I'm not looking forward to is 2 things. Bring him before me, and there is good in him. Oh, we know they're the best objectives. I'm so excited for this format, but we get it. They're the best objectives. They lose a force every time, out of play whenever they lose a battle. You can just instantly win the game if you win enough. If you win enough battles. But if they don't run Luke or Vader or whatever, if they don't run Luke, then bring him before me. Well, they're just losing force all game. And guess what? You're gonna run Luke because he's Destiny 6. Oh, it's just exhausting. I challenge you to run not bring him before me decks, because if you have a bring him before me deck and it beats a, say, I don't know, destroy the Death Star light side objective deck. I forgot what that objective's called. Whatever. That, or like rescue the prince. If you beat one of those decks, I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed. I'm like, well, yeah, it is the most OP objective of all time. So up until this point, obviously, and it's like I'm not impressed. Let's see some Ewoks. Let's see some just bunkers. Let's see the light side Endor objective. Let's see. I want to see a Death Star game where they're trying to destroy whatever Yavin, and I want to see the counter to it at the same time in an epic game. And we're all going to have a great time. Anyway, we got to wrap this up. We're getting too windy. I'm excited to play Death Star 2. Sign up. It might be too late. Who knows? Who knows when it is? It might cut towards the end. Jar Jar video is coming out. I swear. It's not been a big, elaborate lie. I promise you. But we'll be in touch. Congratulations, Andy Talaga. You didn't change your name to Collectacutor. Shame on you. 100 lashes, because I'm not sparing the rod with you. See ya.